My name is Jessica Betts, Program Director for REbeL. You are watching REbeL's Storytime training. Storytime is one of our outreach activities for elementary age children, where we simply go into the classroom and read stories to young children. Our overall goal is to introduce them to concepts like the importance of self-love, appreciating uniqueness and diversity in others, recognizing one's own value, and being kind to one's body, just to name a few. For the next 10 minutes or so, I'll walk you through Storytime. This is an easy, fun, and powerful form of activism. Storytime is so powerful because it has not only a positive impact on the children in the audience, but also on the REbeL members. Of course, the children benefit from the book's messages. It's important to plant the seeds of body positivity early. REbeL members benefit in many ways from this form of activism as well. They learn valuable skills like public speaking and how to facilitate conversations. But Storytime is so much more than that. Storytime is a great opportunity for REbeL members to articulate REbeL's message aloud and to model them in a very public way to children who look up to them. This reinforces REbeL's message to members and enhances their internalization of these messages, which in turn improves their body image and increases their overall self-acceptance. In this way, REbeL members learn and transform through teaching. Okay, so here's how it works. Storytime is really simple. In the programming portal, you'll find a library of REbeL-approved Storytime books. All of the books we've chosen relate to our core foundations. We've carefully chosen these and have developed discussion questions and activities to correspond with each. If you find a book that's not in our Storytime library, great! There are lots of books out there that relate to body image and self-esteem. Please run books not in our library by me for approval via email or via the forum on the programming portal. Storytime generally lasts about 30 to 45 minutes, usually the length of a class period. Sometimes we do single classes, sometimes multiple classes pile into one classroom, and sometimes we do Storytime in several different classrooms at once or throughout part of a day. Of course, the more classes you do at once, the more REbeL members you need. We generally recommend at least 2 REbeL members for a class of about 20 students. And if classes plan to join together, consider breaking up the group if the total number of students exceeds 40 or so. We have turned a few of our Storytime books into skits intended for assemblies, which you'll also find in the programming portal. I'm going to read you part of one of our favorite books that we use often, REbeL. This book is about recognizing what makes each of us unique and special and introduces the idea of celebrating diversity in body size and shape. There are a few important things to remember as you read. 1. Read slowly and articulate your words clearly. You may feel like you're reading too slow. That is normal. When I read REbeL to you in a moment, I'll show you the ideal pace. 2. Read with enthusiasm. Reading a story is a little like acting. You want to captivate your audience. Convey a wide variety of emotions by altering the tone, pitch, and volume of your voice with your body language and especially with your eyes. You can even use different voices for different characters. 3. Make sure you pause before turning each page. We want to give students a chance to soak in the story and to look at all the pictures. While Storytime is very simple, all of these little intricacies can take a little practice. We suggest reading aloud to a sibling or a friend to prepare for Storytime. Now I'm going to read you part of REbeL, just so you have an idea of what we want from the reading. Of course, you'll begin with introductions, an explanation about REbeL, an explanation about REbeL, and what the book is all about. And we're just going to pretend that the little kids are sitting right here. Just down the road, not too far away, is a place called REbeL, where lots of shapes play. In REbeL, it doesn't matter what size, shape, or color you are, because here, everyone is a star. Whether you are large, medium, or small, very short, or extremely tall, come one, come all, and join us, friend. We'll have a ball. And in the end, you might even learn a thing or two about liking yourself, because you are you. In REbeL, it doesn't matter what size, shape, or color you are. Just ask Robbie the Rectangle. He's an artistic star. Robbie is red and knows he is tall, has one eye on his head, and is great friends with all. After you're done reading, go into the discussion. As I mentioned before, each of the books in our Storytime library comes with an instruction sheet that includes a set of discussion questions. Take your time going through these. Leave enough time for students to respond. Silence can be uncomfortable, I know, but sometimes it takes students a few seconds to process the question and to come up with answers. Ask for students to raise their hands rather than allowing them to blurt out answers. If you find responses are lacking, try rephrasing the question or providing a personal example. For some of the discussion questions, you'll find additional guidance in italics. Following the discussion, you should do an activity with the students that relates to the book. Each of our books comes with a recommended activity detailed clearly on the instruction sheet. In all cases, some supplies are needed. Some books come along with a supplemental handout, which you'll also find in the programming portal. Feel free to get creative with these activities and to put your own spin on Storytime. The key is for these to be fun and interactive, to relate to the book's takeaway message, and to be fairly simple. For Shapesville, the activity requires that each student has a coloring sheet and access to markers or crayons. We ask that each student draws what makes them a star. Then we give students a chance to share. Before you finish, always end with a closing statement, your takeaway message, which you'll find in the instruction sheet, and be sure to thank the class teacher for having you. That's it, pretty easy. Now that you know how to do Storytime, assign one or more of your members the task of reaching out to your feeder elementary schools or schools outside of your district to set it up. We recommend Storytime at least once per year or in enough classrooms so everyone in your chapter has a chance to do it once. Good luck and have fun!